So hello and welcome to Newbie Farm episode 3. Some minute changes. These lights now work. I couldn't resist going into the editor, and as you can see inside there's a repair tool or the repair trigger, so you can sell or modify your vehicles at the farm now. There are still a couple of things that need fixing, like the PDA needs updating. May as well get the trailer because we're going to do some harvesting today because the barley is all ready to go. Now this one. Make a change, I guess, seeing that you've seen me do two cuts of grass. This would change it up a little bit. But before we do that, we're going to have a drive around and you'll see, well, there's only one change to actually show you. Oh, why does that trigger do that? Don't get this trailer can carry fertilizer, is that it? So this bridge has been widened slightly. Well, actually, there's more than one change, isn't there? There's now around the main roads is these lights, so you have a better vision during the night of the main roads. Obviously the dirt roads have none, but up there I've got the roads to do still for all of these lights, but they're spaced out to the point where there's not too many of them, but just enough so you can see. This was done because could actually do with one more just there, I guess. And I've straightened up that fence because I kept forgetting to do it. So basically anything that had been reported or that I'd seen myself has now been changed and fixed or modified. The straw plane in the cow barn has been modified, and to finish it off, now I haven't updated the foliage layers because obviously I've got crops growing, so this is my save game. So where the tombstones are is meant, the headstones rather, is meant to be dirt with no grass foliage there and a path going up to them. And if we jump out, you can see the pathway just here, and it's all dirt. That's interesting. Why do they go green on a night? In the editor they don't do that. Very interesting. I have to check them out during the day again when I don't need my flashlight on to see, because they were showing up in the editor perfectly and I haven't changed anything, and I did check them during the day and they worked fine. Then the farmer dad in his game found out he could get water back from over there, so he done a road, not in the editor but in the game, using the ground modification mod or something like that, and he basically changed this to be a road going down to the lake over there. So because I thought it'd be a good idea, I would do the same, maybe to make it less obvious that that's where you can get water from. or that's what it's for. I will put a pier or something there, just so that, you know, it's it looks like there's a reason why there's a road there. But yeah, this is actually the biggest change, is the fact that the church, and well, not the church, but the wall and the tombstones, the headstones, and that are not working correctly. The texture's not working, or at least on a night the textures aren't working. So I will have to look into that. It could be, I wonder if it's because I deleted the i3D file. That's a possibility. I can't see why you'd still require the i3D file, because it shouldn't do. We're not back in FS11 where certain things still required i3D files to function. So anyway, the other changes to field 4, I did state that I wanted to put a hedge or fence or something around the field in the previous video, and that's exactly what I did. And it looks a lot better, and I'm glad that I've done it, and there's not going to be any surprises because I've already been up here in the test, and it was fine. But then again, so was the church, or the headstones, and so this now has a hedge all around it, and to me it makes this part look a lot better. So them are the big changes. Later on, by the time you'll have seen this video, Bipolar Prophet, a good friend, will have already done a live stream on this this map. He's not doing a showcase, driving around and showing you the map. He's just playing it as the way he wants to play it. Whichever way he chooses to play that, that's up to BP, you know. But if he does drive around and show you things, then hopefully you enjoy that video. If he doesn't, then it doesn't matter. I mean, he's not. It's not his job to do a showcase. You know, he can do if he wants, but he doesn't have to. But for us, we have these fields ready to go, so we just need to fast forward time and get the crops to dry out. So we'll go ahead and do that, and let's actually check them, because I remember the first time I played Seasons, I leased the combine, came over to the fields to harvest them, and I couldn't, even though the textures had changed to show they was ready, there was still only 78% or something. Yeah, these are 100, good. The Seasons, for some reason, that part of things is interesting. So we will just leave this here, and now we're just waiting on the field, the crops to dry, so we can begin harvesting. And we will lease this combine, and we will take the header for that as well. And well, they've got to dry, so we may as well drive them back. And of course, in another 5 days' time, the grass will be ready for its final cut. Now, as a rule of thumb, this would be in default settings, this would be the busiest time of the year for me right now, because I would have all the crops would be ready to go, the grass fields would all be ready to go. So I would be mowing and harvesting, baling. You know, it would be non-stop for the whole of this one game day, because I don't fast forward the time. I play 1-to-1 on when I have things to do. There we go. So yes, thank you for telling me. Wood chips are a great demand. Hopefully in FS17 they have that, so it doesn't stop your vehicles from functioning. You know, it could just be a transparent box that just as a notification, as opposed to a message that you have to click to close. And we're not blind, we can see it. We're not going to exactly miss it. And it disappears after so long anyway if you don't click it, or it used to in FS15. I'm pretty sure it'd do the same in 17 as well. You know, I've never liked that side of the game. But I figured that this would be a nice change, something different for now. And Fredo had found, because as you know, I don't do forestry, it's not my thing, but Fredo does, and he found that there was some yeah, of course you need to unfold the combine first. Fredo found that there was a discrepancy with the terrain somewhere amongst one of those trees just off this side of this field to the left. I've fixed that, so hopefully there will be no more of them. I've smoothed out field 4 slightly, the same as field 23, because of the couple of amazing little dips and that was on there that you couldn't see, but you definitely felt them. Basically this version has been all about fixing small little things like that, and they are literally small things. There's a couple of things left to fix, nothing big, nothing that's going to make the game not save game compatible. Any fixes now will all be completely save game compatible, unless it's something to do with the pigs, because I haven't tested them. But none of us are doing pigs in our save game, so it wouldn't make a difference. In fact, I won't do that. I will just go up and down, I guess. I was going to do a headland, but oh, thought I had a bit more room than that. And we'll go in the combine to do this. May as well. That's why I picked this one, because at least I could see the end of the header and hopefully not miss any. I'll try not to. Hopefully you're all having a good day, and those of you who did catch the stream yesterday with BP and the guys, hopefully you had fun watching them. Project Cars 2, good racing. Definitely enjoyed the race at Spa with against BP. That was a good battle, perhaps one of our best battles to date. Hopefully we get plenty more of those. And BP won, which was good for him. But as anyone who's been watching will know that BP, he likes to race for the fun. He likes to win, obviously, but it's much more about the fun at the moment, and that was a lot of fun. Very close, hard-fought battle. I was pushing him for the last final 2 or 3 laps, and the last lap I started pushing much harder, and I just couldn't find a way past him. Just couldn't do it. I couldn't outbrake him, which is amazing because normally I can outbrake people, but Project Cars 2, yeah, it's either you can apply the brakes or you can't. You know, you just end up locking up, and that's it. And unfortunately, I wasn't paying attention. Unfortunately, I thought Seasons was meant to have crop destruction as a thing by default, because it certainly hasn't there. Whatever. So Farmer Dad and Jasper and myself were all talking about what we would like to see now that ploughing has become a thing, and they, you know, we know it's tuggable. You can toggle it on and off, but because Farm Sim 17 is the first to actually introduce ploughing as being a thing that you can have as being switched on, that will give you benefits to your yield. It would make sense to further change the way that works and make it more intuitive, I guess you could say. And by doing that, they could have it so did I bring that on now? Because the cameras, cameras are not very good on this. Which hopefully they also, after I miss a load of... I didn't claim to be good. I'm just average. Hopefully they fix the cameras in 19 so we can actually adjust them. Giants, please make their thing. And you adjust them in real life. Why can't you adjust them in the game? At the moment, all your mirrors are pointless. I don't think I've come across a single vehicle where any of the mirrors are actually working or capable of giving good info for us to work from of what's happening behind. Anyway, we was talking about it would be good if ploughing a field was not set up so it predominantly you had to plough your fields every 3 harvests, but more that your field over a course of time, depending on vehicle types, would have a great effect on when you'd need to plough, and by that compaction would become a thing. So that would mean that wheel types would actually play a crucial role in farming. You know, crop tires you would obviously use those thin, narrow tires for gain between the crops, so that you could you can spray without damaging your yields or reducing the damage to yield to the crops, but also that would mean that you're actually doing less damage to the ground as well, because you're putting less weight over a smaller space of part of the field, and it would be good if that became something that played a role within Farm Sim 19. You know, you would not be parking your, like for example my tractor and trailer are off the field. You wouldn't be parking that on your field because you wouldn't want the added compaction that just sitting there would have caused, or just driving there onto the field and leaving it there would have caused, rather. It's not a necessarily needed thing. and would make the different types of wheels that you can modify your tractors to use would actually play a much more important role and be more fitting as to why they're part of the game, or why they're there, other than just looking pretty and giving us something else to just mess around with, some more clickable things. Oops, that was a tree. That was the tree again. And it's not my combine, so it's all good. And we was talking about that, and you know, you could end up going gain a lot more harvests from a field if done correctly than just 3. So it'd be more beneficial to reducing, we'll just stop it there because it's 98% full anyway. It'd be more beneficial to do it like that, and this is where, you know, single player, you'd have to work with what you've got. So would you take the combine to the trailer or take the trailer to the combine? That would be the question that you are left with. And then if you take the tractor to the combine as we have, would you leave the tractor there and carry on harvesting, which is what most people would do in single player, which is what I'm actually going to do here, because the combine is actually louder than the trailer, the tractor rather. And I forgot to turn the header off. My bad. But yeah, that would definitely add a lot more to the depth of ploughing and reasons as to why you need to plough. And a careful farmer would get a lot more from his or her field before needing to worry about ploughing. Are we going forward? Thank you. And the other thing is, Farmer Dad pointed out that you can turn off the display for what you're carrying through game extensions. It's not going to be so bad now, but when I was using the round baler, it definitely was annoying, because you're looking for the percentage. I know 4,000 litres, but when it does that and goes to barley and you can't see anything, it's just telling you what you've got. Well, as Farmer Dad pointed out, you're doing grass or you're doing straw, you know what you've already got in there, so it doesn't need to tell you on a baler. It just needs to keep track of how much you've got in there, and which it does by default. And let's turn that off. and hopefully you'll all enjoy this video. It's going to be interesting because BP isn't aware at the moment that there is a new version of Newbie Farm. He'd just previously downloaded the or last night just downloaded the previous version, but I wanted to get them fixes out of the way, because here's why I decided to go into the editor. And to be honest, I was going to avoid going in the editor all of the rest of this week, even though I said I was going to start Beyond Home this week at some point. The reason behind it was, and we will turn the header off here and jump into this tractor and unload before we come back up. The reason I decided to do it was A, I would forget, and B, I don't know how long I'll be working on Beyond Home, and I don't want to get into Beyond Home, come back to Newbie, and then go back to Beyond Home, because I might then start picking more faults with Newbie and modifying Newbie even more, and I don't want to do that. I just want to be able to turn around and say that's it, the FS17 edition of Newbie Farm is done, and move on to Beyond Home and not have to look back other than doing the PDA, which basically for that it's you're up in the sky, you're not down on the ground where you can pick faults. So I can do that at any point. There's no mad rush, and the chances are I will have that done sometime this week before moving on to Beyond Home next week. I might do a video showcasing some of that, but don't hold your breath, I might not. To be honest, I think after episode 4 will be the last one, maybe one more episode after that will be for the season's testing, will be the final episode, because all this is about is testing seasons, the changes to seasons and that I've made, and so far it's nice. They're all working correctly, and I haven't had any issues. And it's given me a chance to showcase some of the changes that I've been making to Newbie Farm around there, and giving me a break from the editor, which is always a good thing. But Beyond Home, I can't take a break from the editor. I need to, if I want to get that map done before FS19 comes out, I need to be working on it, because I want that to be an FS19 map. Will I port it to 19, to FS17 rather? Will I port it to 19? Maybe. It depends on how much work Newbie Farm will need in 19, and what mods come out. I mean, we might get soil mod, we might get seasons mod if it hasn't been partially implemented by Giants themselves already. There might be additional mods that change the way ploughing works, and reasons as to why you'd need to plough as opposed to periodically ploughing. I'm not going to go over the bits that I've missed. Can't be bothered. Straw bales aren't going to be a big thing for me anyway. Not yet. And to be honest, I'll be picking this up with the forage wagon and taking it straight to the mixing station and dumping that in there, because then the bales that I will have from the next two fields, fields 10 and 11, will be to last through the rest of this season and till this point next season. And in fact, I'm actually going to be planting some wheat in just this field on its own, just to see how it will, if it will actually manage to get through to and survive. Because that will be definitely an interesting thing to see. It should do, because it should be our winter crop. It's only day 2 of autumn, so but I will try that, and the grain that we get off these fields will go straight into the silos and be kept for great demands, because every penny counts, you know, and there's no reason for us to rush to sell it, not yet. With winter we will be producing more milk than we would do in the summer months and that, so, and upkeep would be lower amazingly. Even though, as BP and farmer dad were saying, you would pay a lot more money during the winter months because your cattle your herd is within the sheds, so there's a lot more maintenance to them. Seasons has it so that it's actually cheaper during the winter on upkeep, or the upkeep of your cattle is a lot cheaper. In fact, it's like a quarter, I think, of the value that they had set it to. And we're going to have to do a couple of headlands here, which is going to be, in fact, you know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to scrap that idea. Because all the hedges are now collidable, so you have to take that into account. So what we'll do is we will go along the top and turn here. That would, and actually do a full headland, because we haven't got much of a gap at the other end anyway. So we'll do a proper headland. Might actually end up having to do 2. No, in fact we will need to do 2. Because unless I carry straight on, which is an option. In fact, yeah, I'll carry straight on. What else can we talk about? Because I've said everything now I wanted to say. So this Saturday, be sure to jump onto BP's stream. For the UK will be anywhere between let's say 8 PM and 10 PM. For the US that will be between that'd be between what, 4. Whoa. Yeah, it'd be between 4 and 6. I had to think there, because the I couldn't remember when BP was saying that the times the clock's changing there in the US. But it's Sunday, isn't it? Early hours of Monday morning, or was it early hours of Sunday morning? One or the other. So yeah, oh shit, we was meant to be doing the headland, wasn't we? Oh well, never mind. When we get to the end, we can always just do another part of the headland at the other end, at the opposite end of this field, and that'll give us a little bit more turning space. But we'll need probably about three passes there just to give us that room. And eventually these two fields will be ploughed together just to make the one field, because at some point this might end up becoming a grass field, or it could end up becoming the root crop field. Not that we would need root crops, but it could end up becoming that. Whoa, damn. Damn. Pay attention, it does help. Yeah, actually I will do that. I will back up to this way. And put the pipe out. So BP will be streaming around that time, doing, as far as we're aware so far, oh this needs emptying now, as far as we're aware it will be, well in fact I'll let BP announce what it'll be, but it'll be interesting, so be sure to jump on that. I'm definitely going to be there. It's going to be a long stream, so I won't be there for the whole of it, but I'm just as interested in if it is the one, if BP does stick to the one that he said he was going to do, then it'll be definitely interesting, because it's something I like to see. Not that I don't like watching him doing other things, but because this is this would be different, put it that way. I don't know how long I'll be there for, because you know it's going to be late for us to catch the stream in the UK, which is fine. You know, I could go to sleep and wake up and BP would probably still be going anyway. Well, he would be still going, and catch the end of it, or I could catch it after the stream and watch the video then while I'm I don't want to go this way, the combine's right there. Yeah, as you can see, I didn't put a fence between, like I said I was going to. I decided not to because, well, not every single field is going to have a fence or a hedge going around it, and I thought I must have put the pipe in then, so my bad. Clever. So let's try that again and put the pipe out this time. What would be nice is if the beacons came on themselves to indicate that there was almost full. I know that they do if the AI, if you've got an AI helper doing it. But it'd be nice if you'd had a beeping or some kind of indication other than looking at the data as to what was going on. Because I'm pretty sure in real life you'd have some kind of sensor built into the tank that once the grain reached a certain height, got to a certain capacity, it would begin to beep. I'm sure that would be a thing. It could be a thing in the other combines. I just haven't paid much attention because when you come to combines with big headers, I don't tend to drive in cab because you can't see the end of the header, and it's so easy then to miss a lot, or to be over compensating for the area that you've already harvested, which is always fun. And for anyone who's wondering why am I stopping at the end of each line, it's because of the straw. As you can see, that big pile just to our left now, that was if I carried on, that would have been, even though I was no longer harvesting, that straw is still being spat out, and I don't want it all over the road and everything because it's a mess to tidy up afterwards. For the farm sim players out there, though, sorry if I'm completely killing the immersion that you might have built up for yourselves, but I do this for fun, not for professionalism. You know, like most of us who play farm sim. I like realism, but I'm no professional farmer. I don't work on a farm or anything. But it doesn't mean I don't respect farmers and their duties on a farm, day in, day out. I won't be doing the whole of this video will not be me doing baling the field, baling the straw and that, and then taking the straw up. I think once I've harvested the fields, I will call it, because you already have the idea of what I'm doing. You know, you don't need me to do the rest of it on camera. I just want to break up the constant mowing and or working on grass fields. That's why the first video, the first episode was me mowing. The second episode was me raking or tedding and raking. So you got different parts of different things. And I got the pipe out this time. And as you can see, I mean, they are big fields. This is only our third pass, and we've already filled the combine up twice. So the yield is actually good. This is where soil mod would, I do miss soil mod, because the field yield, or the yields of each field would change during the course of each season, because obviously the field's values for things would be different, but unfortunately no soil mod. And it's been an eagerly awaited mod. people have been wanting that. I'm sure the people behind Soul Mod would have probably been hounded with messages when Soul Mod coming out, but there's been no word of it. I mean, there's still time, as Farmer Dad said, for it to come out, but I'm not holding my hopes up for it. And if it came out now, we wouldn't get the full benefits of it, because, you know, there's only, what, 11 months before Farm Sim 19 comes out. You know, we've already missed half of the year of this game, or Soil Mod has anyway, unfortunately. And Soil Mod and Seasons together would have made for an amazing all-round realism mod. Maybe the team working on Seasons are trying to work some kind of soil conditionings within the Seasons mod. We can hope. But then, how close are they to releasing, if they are doing that, releasing another version of the soil mod? Or is that going to be an FS19 modification? We'll have to wait and see, I guess. Because this is the time now when a lot of people who are doing serious mods will be looking at doing, getting them at least ready for FS19. And not focused on getting them out for 17. And I know they won't be fully ready for 19, because obviously the coding could have changed, so they'd have to update that, and some textures might not work in 19, you never know. But there's a lot of people out there who still do it, map makers preparing their maps ready for 19, etc. And it's nice to actually have one ready beforehand, so then at least it's just a straight port, and then all you're doing is testing. You're not working on the map making further changes because you wasn't satisfied with the layout or something. Wow, we're almost full again. So this is actually going to be a very slow process. Maybe we should just focus on doing one field at a time. That way it won't I won't make the mistake of not paying attention and turning at the end on one of these passes and then realise I've got to back up because I'm full. I think that's what we'll do is once we get to the end we will start we will do a headland, about 3 passes at the back, and then we'll start going up and down as we've been doing, and just focus on this field, and then we'll do the previous field 10 rather, after. I thought I had more room than that to do this. Not to worry. So to do. Should I do a Minecraft video or a Factorio video one of the days? Because I do like Factorio. In fact, I would play Factorio more than I play Minecraft. Minecraft I would get bored of very quick. It's just one of those games I played so much. I mean, I played Factorio a lot, but Factorio's got that addictive value to it. And and Minecraft, I just get bored of it so quick. I can play it non-stop for a few days, and then after a few days I literally just completely get switched off. It just has no interest values for me, and I don't know why. The harder it is, the more fun it is, but the problem is I still get bored of it quickly. So it'll probably be a Factorio video that I will do. And even if it was Minecraft, I'm not interested in zombies and skeletons and all that crap. I would just simply have the peaceful world. I can't be arsed with all them. You know, I don't play Minecraft to kill zombies and all that stupidity. I know that that's the idea of the fun, is to survive against things like that, but really, that's why we have the peaceful setting for those who don't want to play it like that. Just want to focus on the mods that are in the game. I've killed that many zombies and skeletons and endermen and all the rest of it over the years. Can't be bothered with them anymore. They're boring now. The value that they offered at first was fine, but now it just seems like it's like the same thing over and over again. And obviously there would be some mobs. I'm pretty sure even if you've got it in peaceful, spawners will still be generated, and I'm sure mobs can still spawn from them. So, you know, it's not going to be 100% safe all the time. And at the same time, I'm not into creative mode. I don't like to have everything there and ready to go straight off the bat. So I would have to mine, I would have to go into the caves, I would have to chop trees down or punch trees at first. You know, I would have to do all of the normal Minecraft stuff. I don't think I would need to eat, because although health is a thing, I don't think you have to eat unless that's changed, which isn't a big deal. I mean, I don't mind growing some crops and whatnot, having some animals to feed from. So I'm not going to say definitely not going to be Minecraft, but don't expect it to be Minecraft. I would get a lot more enjoyment out of Factorio. The problem with Factorio is that if I start playing it and I do get into it, I won't know when to stop. I thought I was actually more fuller than that. And I'm going to say that's close enough to being full. I forgot to bring the damn pipe out again. In fact, what's the time? Probably go for another 10 minutes and then I'll call it regardless as to where we are, if we've finished or not, because I've got to go out anyway soon. But this video will probably be released. Why did I turn the combine off? You'll probably be seeing this video out Sunday morning, probably. What day is it today? Thursday? No, Friday morning rather. Tomorrow morning. Which would be after BP's done his stream tonight, which will be Newbie Farm. Watched Reefy's video on Newbie Farm the other day. That was really entertaining as always, but a lot more entertaining for me because I can sympathise with getting lost. I've done it myself on this map once, in a place that I don't normally go, which was in the mountains just to our right. Up there, basically, you can't see, can you? Back up there, because those mountains stretch from all the way back over there, and they go all the way over to the other end of the map down there and by the port. So it's so easy to get lost, and you can enter up there, and there's you can get out back down through the lumberyard, through the mill, and at the port. So there is numerous ways to get in and out of there. It's still very easy to get lost though. I guess we will try a different method of just lining ourselves up. I still haven't bound any buttons to my wheel, so I'm still having to use the keyboard for backwards and forwards, or changing direction on the gears and drive control, and lowering and turning on implements, etc. is all through the keyboard. So not as fluent as it could be. Noticed one thing, I actually smoke a lot less when I'm streaming a video, because it tends to go out, which is why you hear my lighter like 50 billion times in the video. Point made, huh? Whoa. Oh yeah, we've got the arm out, haven't we, still? That's clever. Yep. Way to go. Crash 2 of the day. Auto save, lovely. Really struggling of things to talk about here. I know I said in the previous video I should start doing silent videos where you just have the humming of the vehicles as opposed to the annoying aspect of my voice and the constant struggling to think of things to talk about. Hopefully Factorio won't be like that. Why did I press that button for? So we'll be able to unload in a minute. We'll have 2 more passes on this field to do, and then it's onto the field 10 and we'll stop there and unload it again. No, we won't, because we need to empty. Okay, fine. I know I should, theoretically I should have my beacons on at the moment in the combine for field work, and for carting I should have my beacons on, but I'm not playing this realistically, and there's only me. If it was multiplayer, then I definitely would be following the basic rules. But two trailer loads, and this holds what, 15,000? Is it 12,000? Something like that. I haven't paid any attention. Don't know how much my own trailer holds, but it's enough. So that's good yield, very good yield from this barley. But it's the straw that I'm more interested in on the yield than the actual grain. The grain won't sell for much anyway, hence the reason I'm waiting on a great demand for it. The yield doesn't look too bad on the straw. Why did the header suddenly come up now? Hopefully in 19 we'll have monitors that we can actually watch as well, so we can see when we need to start the engine first, of course. That would help. Does that mean the pipe's still out then? So the pipe will close with no engine, but the header won't go down. Interesting. Physics there for you. So we will get this field done and then I'll call it, I think. I've still got a little bit of time. and then we can offload it while I'm closing the wind down of the video. So yeah, hopefully you've all been enjoying it though. Moondog's probably fallen asleep like 1 hour ago or so. So we know he's not going to be listening at this point. So we can go and talk about the hedges still being collidable, huh? No, only joking, Moondog. Even though you probably have fallen asleep. I think next season will actually be a lot more interesting for myself because of having a bigger herd, a lot more responsibility. It's going to be interesting when we get to the stage when I would need to start looking at purchasing more grass fields. So it's, because I've took the maximum loan out, it's going to be interesting as well because I need to pay that loan off. And obviously leasing a combine is not truly viable way to go, but I only need it once a year. So yeah, hence the reason I didn't sell the cultivator and seeder, because I wanted to keep them until it was time to plant again. Oops. I didn't give the straw a chance to completely empty on that one. So yeah, this will be the end of episode 3, I guess. Hopefully you enjoyed that. A change from mowing or working on grass fields, some combine work, which is always fun to watch. And I will catch you on BP's stream, or I will have caught you on BP's stream rather, and I will catch you on BP's next stream, which will be Friday night. I don't know what he'll be doing on Friday night, but whatever it is, I will be there, so be sure to check that out. And until next time, oh, and before I do go, all of the links to everybody from the Monkey Show, BP included, are in my channel, so be sure to go and check all of them out. And until next time, I will catch you all later. See ya.